something's gotta break. One voice is not enough. When something's gotta break. One voice is not enough. When something's gotta break. Cowards got corrupt. I got no faith in democracy. One voice is not enough. When something's gotta break. Cowards got corrupt. I got no faith in democracy. One voice is not enough. When something's gotta break. Cowards got corrupt. I got no faith in democracy. No faith in democracy. No faith in democracy. I got no faith in democracy. My mind is a weapon, hands over your head. Live like you mean it, breathe it, repeat it. If I got your attention, this isn't a test. My mind is a weapon, hands up and over your head. Over your Oh, mama, I'm in fear for my life from the long arm of the Lord. Lawman is putting into my running, and I'm so far from my home. Oh, mama, I can hear you are crying, you're so scared and all alone. Hangman is coming down from the gallows, and I don't have very long. They take us up and use it down. They finally found me. The renegade who had it made, retreat for a bounty. Never more to go astray. Let the be beaten today. The morning man.
Thank you, Brian.
Oh, mama, I've been given a lamb, and I love it in my head. And I'll miss it getting better alive. Now it's for sure you'll see me dead. Dear mama, I can hear you crying, so scared and alone. Hangman is coming down from the gallows, and I know.
Live from the Man Cave Studios in South Parkersburg, West Virginia, this is Robert's Report, your leader in combat sports and rock music. It's time to throw down in the Man Cave. So, here's your host, Craig Vegas Robert. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Robert's Report. I'm their host, Craig Roberts, Craig Vegas Roberts, of course. And great news this week. Speaking of Vegas, sounds like Vegas is making its way back into the. Ooh, my microphone's getting a little limp here. But Vegas is making its way back like a roaring lion. We're happy to hear that. We're going to be heading out that way here in mid-May. Hopefully to see the Scorpions and maybe tear some things up. Who knows? So got a special guest here this evening. Of course, every guest is special. Got Mr. Richie Green. But before we get to that, had a couple good fights here over the weekend. USC. I think the biggest shocker was Derek Black Beast Lewis put down razor blades. Derek Lewis was the underdog by plus 350. So anybody who put some money on Derek Lewis last night, great job. So that was a shocker there. And then, my microphone won't stay up here. That's all right. Anyway, yeah, so next week we got another fight night, and then on to a triple title fight from the Apex Center in Las Vegas, Nevada, and UFC 259. So y'all get ready for that. And I think that's about it for news. As far as rock news, there's quite a bit happening behind the scenes right now. I should mention Joey Walzer has a new hat design that he just released. Joe Walzer is a singer-songwriter, bassist for Devour the Day and Egypt Central. We had him on the show here a couple weeks ago. And then, of course, don't forget to go check out Quarantine, which is PJ Farley's new group with Quarantine. It's a kind of it's like a Kiss cover is what they call it. It has a Kiss sound to it. So go check that out as well. They've got some new music. And then also on Octane right now, another group that PJ Farley is in is Raw. Came out with a new RA. If you don't RAW, it may come up with something different. But RA. Definitely recommend going and checking that out. And of course, don't just bring these things up on Spotify. Make sure you go out and support the artists and purchase their music. It is the money that makes them be able to do what they do that we love for them to do. So, and a big thank you goes out to Shallow Side and Code Red Riot for allowing me to use their music on our podcast. I was pretty excited this past week. I got my brand new, let's see if I can get it in the picture here. It is an unreleased design hoodie from Code Red Riot's site. And if you like it, if you like their kind of stuff, go and again buy their merch, buy their music, help support them. And I think that's all I have for right now as far as introductory stuff. So without further ado, we had a little bit of video issues on, or not, I won't say issues, but Richie's got some things going on with his phone on his end. So we're going to do an audio-only interview here tonight, but I expect basically with everything that Richie has going on and has had going on, we got a lot of content here to talk about. So without further ado, here we have Mr. Richie Green. How's it going, brother?
It's going good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. We're of course, we were just talking before the show here about you living down in Florida and us up here in cold-ass West Virginia, where we get to shovel snow and ice and all that kind of crap. So, hats
I'm an
off.
Ohio boy, man, so I get it.
yeah, that's right. You've lived in Ohio for a while before now, right?
Many years.
Yeah.
Yeah, many years.
Now we're
Born and raised.
Oh, born and raised from Ohio. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I just assumed you, because as much time as you spent in Florida, I just figured that you were born and raised from Florida.
No, I just moved here about 5 years ago. I relocated here, but yeah, I'm an Ohio guy.
Awesome. Okay.
Or
Well,
was.
well, the last time I saw you, you were in town here at the Poorhouse. I don't know if you remember that gig or not. It was with the Saints of Rebellion.
Yes, sir. I sure do.
Yeah, actually, matter of fact, I still have I've got one of your drumsticks you gave me over here at that show. I've been kind of redoing my room here with everything that I've been through on music and either booking bands or seeing bands. So, but that was that was. I haven't, that every band you've been in, Richie, has been a kick-ass band.
Yeah, I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it.
And one of the ones here from the Mid Ohio Valley that some of people might remember is I want to call it a crown jewel, because some of the music and some of the I guess the biggest thing I can relate to it is because that's probably when I met you and met the guys of the band of Modern Superstar
Yeah.
and
Yeah. That was another good band.
and Tattoo Tony. You know,
Both of those.
yeah. I mean, it was and those songs, man, they're still on my playlist. Hollywood Dirty. It's still. I love this song.
Yeah. I got a brand new band actually titled Hollywood Dirty.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, yeah. And it's a little bit different for me that, the premise of that when I got with Lorenzo Del Vecchio, which was in, he was in Modern Superstar for a little while, the
Right.
last kind of rendition of Modern Superstar.
Right.
Um, and Mickey Shamedy, which played bass for us for a while in Modern Superstar. I know you've met Mickey.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, we're doing some stuff. It's called Hollywood Dirty, but basically, it's I wouldn't call it a cover band, but I wouldn't call it a tribute band either. But we're just trying to give our best rendition of the Hollywood strip back in the heyday, with some cover tunes and stuff like that. But we don't want to be called tribute, but it's more that than it would be a cover band. But we're just trying to do the whole period correct.
Right.
Giving the songs the best to what we think that they were or they are, and so we got that going, and just I had some health issues and taken me a while to bounce back. I'm still bouncing back, as a matter of fact. I know you know about that.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the people that listening probably know, and probably follow Mickey Shamedy's health battles with cancer, and he's had a pretty last rough couple of years,
Yeah,
but
big
he's
shout out
bouncing
to
back.
Mickey there, real quick. Yeah, big shout out, man,
Yeah,
and good vibes and prayers. It's you know, Mickey's one of the original bad boys of rock. You know what I mean? He's
sure is.
and such a great guy in general. Just so shout out to Mickey if he's listening, or he'll get to listen here later on. But all of us up here in West Virginia, and of course Richie there too, we're all thinking about you, brother. But get your ass up out of there, and let's get some more music done, man.
Yeah, it's coming, brother. We'll. He always says with me, him, and Lorenzo, three-headed monsters coming, tick tock, tick tock. So, but yeah, he's getting better. It's just it's like me. It's they told me when mine happened, they said, here's one thing you can count on: you're gonna get better, but it's gonna be 1% better every day. And boy, they weren't kidding.
Yeah,
It's
so
1% better every day.
yeah, so those don't know. I don't know if it's okay to say or not, but you actually suffered a stroke, which is quite amazing to be able to talk to you on the phone. Uh, let alone be able to drum. Get behind the kid again.
Yeah,
That's
well, I tell you, man, I have my best story that I would like to share with you about that, and
sure.
it's just I just try to tell it. I'm just so proud of it, and saddened at the same time. But I'll tell you how the whole drumming thing came about again for me. Um, my stroke happened, and at the worst time I was in a band um called New Machine at the time, and now they're called Native Son.
Hmm.
But we worked for about 2 years solid on the new record, or what was going to be the new record. um we had a whole tour planned to release it, nice bus tour, which we all love.
Right.
And some of the best drumming thank God, that I probably ever did in my life on record or tape. So very fortunate to be a part of it. And right before that thing was ready to launch and come out, and everybody had such high hopes for it, um, my stroke happened. I suffered my
Mhm.
stroke, and it was pretty bad, to the point to where they had called my family in and basically just told my family, look, this is probably not going to be good. Literally,
Mhm.
this guy, unfortunately, is probably never even going to make it out of here. Okay. Now, happy to say, I guess I proved him wrong, you know, and a year through speech therapy just to be able to have this conversation with you. I slowly started getting better. And to jump ahead to the drumming, um, you know, not to jump ahead for a second, I'll stay here and then I'll jump ahead.
No, you're fine.
But the record, the band, I was out of the band due to health issues. I just had to, I just left the band, and now 2 years after that, that record is just now getting ready to come out on our old record label, which is High Vol Music. Bill Chavis, I've been on since my Bullet Boys days.
Mhm.
So, love those cats.
Shout
And,
out to Bill. Yep.
shout out to Bill. And Ashton, the lead singer, is carrying the torch. He put a band back together when I left. Consequently, everybody kind of left. So it left just Ashton. But Ashton had this great record in his hands, that I got to play on and help produce and just, be complete writer, and along with Ashton. And he's carried the torch, put the band together, and now that record finally releases March 12th. So please, if you guys get a chance to see, hear, buy, buy a ticket, buy a record. The band is Native Sons, and it's just great, great stuff. And I'm very proud of the drumming that I did on that. I worked hard on it, and it's not the last record that I ever did by any means. I got three that's ready to come out right now in the next couple months, so that's record number 4 for me.
Mhm.
But to jump ahead and share this with you, and if this doesn't give everybody chills, I don't know what will. But suffered a stroke. I'm home. Um, this was probably 6 months after the stroke. My buddy Tommy Yates, bass player from Florida. I played in a band. He played with me in Bullet Boys for years. I played in another Florida based band called Echo 80 with him, which was just, Flock of Seagulls, Duran Duran, just that type of band.
Mhm.
But he did play with me and tour with me in Bullet Boys, and he was a great buddy, inspiration of mine, great musician. I learned a lot from that guy. He called me up out of the blue and said, "Hey, Rich, what do you say you and I go back? We go back to Bullet Boys, man. Call Daddy and tell him we're fucking ready, man. We want to go to the big time." And I said, "Tommy, you probably haven't heard, buddy, but I had a stroke, and I'm paralyzed on my whole left side. I mean, like paralyzed, not like 30% paralyzed, like 100% lost use of everything." And he said, "Are you kidding me?" I said, "No." And he said, "You playing drums yet?" I said, "Oh, my range of motion is still bad. I'm kind of working on my range of motion. An
Mhm.
acoustic kit is a little hard for me at this moment in time, but I'll get on it."
Mhm.
He said, "Well, you know that that electronic kit that I bought for you when we were doing Echo 80 dance music?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Think you could play on that?" I said, "I could play on that a lot easier than I can my acoustic kits. Yes." Everything's in closer and tighter and, kind of programmed, kind
Right.
of the Def Leppard kind of,
Right.
kit,
Mhm.
you know, and, and I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "I tell you what, I'm going to give this kit to you And I said, what do I owe you for that, Tommy? They're expensive, you know? He said, you owe me your ass getting better. And when you get better, you call me and let's me and you continue with Bullet Boys. And let's just go back to the big time again. And I said, you got it, my friend. He said, come down to my house and get the kit and get started on it immediately. Craig, I tell you what, my brother, I drove down there. I met him at his place. I loaded the kit up in my car. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I brought it home, vouched that, you know, every every chance I get to use that kit, I will use it for hours and hours a day. I will make my comeback on that kit because of that kit, and it'll be a tribute in part, you know, to Tommy Yates for caring for me enough to go, you know, hey, brother, you need to succeed. Get back on the horse. Let's do this. Okay. He was one of my great friends. I lost a lot of great friends when I had a stroke. It's so weird. But when I had a stroke, they told me, you're going to see who your friends are. And I went, come on, man. You know, my friends are my friends. We're solid as can be. This is not going to hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But buddy, you know, when they thought that Rich Green wasn't going to play music anymore, they started falling like flies, Craig. But my story is this. So I brought the kid home and made a promise to myself that I was gonna make this happen, okay? And my friend Tommy Yates, that was healthy as a horse, that gave me that kit, died of a stroke 3 days later.
Oh my God.
He had a stroke, and his band called and told me, and you know what I said? I said, you know what? I want to remember Tommy as I remember Tommy. I'm not going to the hospital. I'm not seeing him. I don't want to see him like that. I'm no superhuman at all. Okay, I'm just I'm an average
Wow.
guy. I mean, you know me personally, you know,
Yep.
and I made it out of the hospital when they told me I wouldn't, and you know, I'm walking, yeah, you know, I'm on a cane walking, you know, but you know, I can walk around the block. I can, you know, I can walk in and out of places, and I'm talking again, and you know my arm is coming back, you know, 100 times better. And yeah, it's a work every day. I'm still in therapy every day, but I told the guys, I said, listen, I come back from it and I walked out of the hospital, and by God, Tommy Yates is going to too. We're not going to lose Tommy, you know what I mean? And 2 days after that, he passed away, man. Just, and I mean, just, so, I mean, like I said, if that doesn't raise hair on your arms and give everybody hope, you know, and I've had to work many years, but I'm finally back in the studio. I recorded with a brand new band called 13 Grit. One of my cohorts from the band Pink Velvet Crush is with me, but I was able to record that album. I record about 3 or 4 songs a week, every week. Um, you know, I got a new band called Judea, and you know, we got a record that's ready to come out in March, and I'm able to record tracks at my house. I have a studio set up here with the electronic kit, the MIDI kit, and then I have a studio that's, you know, 30, well, probably 15 minutes
Yeah.
from my house that I go to and record. So I'm doing the 2 feet, you know, the one hand thing, but you know, it's a pretty intelligent tracks. We're sitting number 13 right now, on the top 30, in Nashville radio. So you know, we're not sucking by any means, and you know, the hand gets better and starts joining in more and more every day. But I'm going to therapy, and you know, and I just burn the candle at both ends with, you know, my therapy and my doctor's appointments and my rehearsal. And you know, it's a long way, man. But anybody out there who's, you know, who's have any of the same kind of health issues and adversities, you know, you can definitely, there's definitely coming back from it, you know, with a positive outlook, and you just got to have a reason to get up every day and do what you do. And besides my, family and friends, music is it for me, and I'm just lucky to be able to continue it. But thank you to Tommy Yates for all that, he's taught me over the past years, and especially this last 6 months, and I'm sorry to his family and his friends, but he'd want everybody to go on and do exactly what they're doing. And I love that guy so much, and I'll never forget him. He'll always be in my heart for whenever I do get to do this. Um, you know, it's because of that guy. So I thank him very much.
Well, anybody that follows you on Facebook or Twitter or any of the social media that you're on, Richie, they know the perseverance that you've done, have been through as far as, and I like seeing what you post every day. Whenever you get a chance and you're showing the little things that you're going through, and the little, the small victories that you get. That's an inspiration. And
Yeah, and I had to learn that, not to cut you off, but I
no, that's
appreciate
fine.
you saying that very much. And I had to learn that. It took me a while, and I know Bill Chavis can probably attest to this because I almost talk to Bill more than my family, and it's just I just had to learn, man, that I was taught, set goals, but you need to set achievable goals. You know,
Right.
I used to set these goals. I'm gonna be don't replace me, Bill. I'm gonna be playing in a week from now, and I wasn't even out of the hospital yet. Until I got home, I didn't realize how bad I was. I was in the hospital working therapy. I got home and went, man, I am fucked up. This is bad.
Hmm.
I was just out of my mind. I just didn't really realize it. And but yeah, man, I was just taught by my therapist and everybody, it's okay to set goals, but you don't want to set a goal that is unreachable or just so absurd that when you don't reach that goal, it's really gonna just take the wind out of your sails, and it'll really set you back and hurt you.
Right.
So achievable goals, for
Right.
me, it was, I'm tired of this wheelchair, so I'm gonna get out of the wheelchair, in a month. Now and I did, but it went from wheelchair to walker to cane, and I'm still on a cane, but I can kick the hell out of a drum set, brother, out of a double kick. I can. But I just can't, I just don't have the ability to just get up and walk yet, if that makes sense. And it's just,
Hmm.
I have to relearn and retrain that all over again. But yeah, I started setting myself up with obtainable goals, and once I started reaching them, it just gives me, you know, such a, better outlook. Yeah, I can just mark stuff off, I find something I can mark off every day. And now, getting back in the studio was one of them. And you know, here we are, you got some of my latest stuff right now. The Judea and the 13 Grit stuff is all done in the last, 60 days. So, I'm back, and plain, a shameless plug, they would say, if anybody out there needs a drummer, a pro drummer, such as I believe myself to be, if you're interested in me playing on your stuff, helping you write stuff, you want me to record stuff, I can do it right here in Florida at my house and send you good tracks on acoustic kit and or MIDI files. If you want to, fly me to Ohio to enter in your studio and lay tracks right beside you because you got a great sounding room, I am at that point, and I'm ready to do it, man. So, look me up, Google me, Facebook, Instagram, hit Craig Roberts up and ask him for my information. and, hit me up, and I'm willing to help anybody out, who needs it, and let's just do it together. So that's my plug. And, other than, buy my material and support my bands, please.
Yep, definitely.
You
And
know, and
and
much
and
appreciated.
and, and all bands right now, man, everybody's just been gutted with this whole COVID thing. So anything and everything you can do to support them, because they're going to need, they're going to come back, and they're going to remember who supported them and who didn't. It's
Amen.
so just make sure you do everything and anything and everything you can do to support them. So you mentioned a little bit about the Sunset Strip type of
Yes.
lifestyle.
Yes.
Was that or was that not the best um, birthing of some of the best music in history? It just you
Absolutely. And that's why we decided to do it. It's just paying homage, and, to those before us. And, it's much of that for us. And it is for us to be able to relive a little bit of it too. Not only the people who comes to our shows, but, if you follow Mickey, I mean, it's just going to be larger than life, man. I mean, we'll be in a bar setting. We're not looking to play arenas. We'll be in a bar setting, but we'll come. It'll take 3, 4, 5 hours to set up just to be able to do our show. I mean, we have laser lights, and it's just going to be one heck of a show. And you're not going to be able to see it unless you were around back then. You probably haven't seen it since your last outing on the Sunset Strip. And we're more about the show and stuff than even just the music. And it's going to be quite a spectacle. If you get a chance to come and see us, please do. Um, it's gonna be great. But yeah, you're exactly right, man. And that's what we want to do. We want to tip our hats to all the people before us that made that happen, and we're going to try to take people right back along with us. And it's going to be fun, and it's going to be great for sure.
so what's you've as I mentioned before, you've rubbed elbows with some of the biggest in the biz, these days. Is there any one person that has been an influence to you as far as being doing what you do? I mean,
You know what? I've taken something from all of them, a little bit from all of them. Joe Lestay, Bang Tango for a while. Stephen Piercy, Ron Keel. It's probably been one of my biggest inspirations. What was Ron Keel, and that was just so great. That guy is so great. Was so just full of life and happy to be able to be doing it. And we just Bullet Boys. We just happened to be playing a show with Ron Keel, Bullet Boys, and Quiet Riot,
mhm.
and Jackal. Oh, some years ago now in Pennsylvania, and I met Ron, and one of my old bands called Shine Violet from back in the day when I was a kid. Um, we had played together for years, travel the world, play the club circuit, and we became Bullet Boys back in Mark Toriana. Me, David Weeks, the bass player, and Scott Notacker or Scott McKinley. I'm sorry, Scott McKinley on guitar.
Mhm.
And we were playing the Bullet Boys show, and Ron Keel came up to us and he goes, "Man, you guys are pretty kick ass. Mark's a pretty lucky dude to have you guys, man. Kudos. You guys are really, really doing it. Where'd you guys come from? We're not the usual suspects that, you would get from Hollywood or. We're just an Ohio-based band. And long story short to that is 6 months later, Ron Keel decides to put, his rendition of Ron Keel and doing, some Keel stuff and Iron Horse stuff. And he called us and said, you guys as being Bullet Boys, you guys are off for the next couple months. You guys interested in joining up with me and, trying to make some music? And I mean, it's Ron Keel. It's like, yes, absolutely. So we did that, and we got to do that. So he is probably a big inspiration, just because when I got out with that guy, he was just, so full of life and the joy of doing it, and it was just about the show, and nothing could suffer, nothing could stop us. He paid well, everything was right on time. Guy doesn't have a mean or evil bone in his body. Just a true professional. And so I would say him, and probably Mark Torian. I was in that band for 10 years, and I say Mark Torian is my best friend in the whole world that I never give a shit if I ever talk to again. And kudos to Mark for not showing me what to do and how to treat people on a daily basis, but showing me what not to do and how not to treat people. If that makes sense to any of you guys listening. Every day I would go, okay, rule 101, don't ever say this to a club owner. Don't ever say this to, the fans. Don't ever say this to sound guy. You know what I mean? And so I really made a list of what not to do and how to treat people. And I tried to live my professional career and life like that. I've been an asshole and a dickhead and everything else, and I've had bad days. I'm sure. I'm sure of it. And I won't deny that. But I do try to treat people with respect, and as David Weeks would say, he named our Bullet Boys, all the Bullet Boys tours, the Love, Respect, and Kindness tour. you know, and so yeah, Mark Torian and Ron Keel for sure. But I've learned something from everybody, man. Doing gigs with Trickster, PJ Farley, and the guys, thank God to you, because my first show with those guys was something that you put us on, and
Yeah.
I believe it was Skid Row,
Hmm.
us, and which was Modern Superstar at the time,
Right.
and Trickster,
Right.
and got to play many shows subsequently with those cats, and great guys, and I'm sure that I've took something from all those cats, and even from you, man, even from you as a promoter, and just somebody who took us under the wing and treated us, very well. And it's like, man, I wanted to go to you like this. This is Modern Superstar, bro. It's not Bullet Boys. You know that, right? I
Yeah.
mean, just because, you just treated us so good, that had been the best. I had missed the big time, so to speak, and I'm out doing it, on a smaller scale. And, now I'm opening up for Skid Row and Trickster. We're not co-headlining shows together. And
Right.
it kind of humbled me a little bit and went, okay, I'm the cat from Ohio again, you know?
Right.
And you know what? I was cool with that. So I try to learn something and take something from everybody, but yeah, I would have to say, a little bit of everybody, but definitely Ron Keel and Mark Torian for sure.
Well, the respect goes right back at you, Richie. You and I've realized that you know some of the original modern superstars just y'all just don't mesh anymore, and that's fine. You know, marriages don't last sometimes, and shit happens. But I have so much respect for you and all of the guys and Bill and Tattoo Tony because of everything that happened around that whole thing. The good part was, you were a part of the good part. You and getting to know the Skid Row guys and Trickster guys, because I've connected with them after the fact. It was just too bad that an asshole had to run, a perfect situation bar, Yellowbeards for those that don't know out there, into the ground, and
Oh
uh,
man,
and try to run, try to drag my name through the mud along with him. But it was
I
you
was
guys.
sad,
It,
brother.
it was you guys that said, whenever all that shit started going down, that's bullshit. That ain't true. Don't listen to them.
Yeah, I remember that.
And
I remember that.
so,
That was just paying some respect of the same respect that we had got on that same show. You know, we weren't buddies, we weren't friends. That had been the first time that we'd seen each other,
right.
but it's just like you know,
Well, even
it
Bill,
wasn't.
Bill called me. He called me like, the night before all the shit went down, and said, "Look, Tattoo Tony's not going to be there, and this is why." So, that the alert started going out right there, and again, thanks to Bill, it could have went way worse than what it did. But back to the positive side of it, though. I'd have never met all of you guys, and it was worth the pain to go through. So you know,
Well, I appreciate that.
the bad stuff sometimes strengthens yourself rather
It
than,
does.
and it's a learning. It, look how much, you just mentioned about how much adversity that you've been through over the whole stroke and building your way back. I mean, how much have you learned from that now? And not
Oh,
physical learning, mental
no,
learning.
you're absolutely right, man. You're absolutely right. And just it makes me, I was always kind of alert of, what I have gotten to do in my life, and what I had set out to do, most of it at a very early age. I thought, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that. In the music business, I'm going to do this. And everybody thought I was, whatever, Rich, whatever.
Hmm.
And I just knew it. And then one thing led to the other, led to the other, led to the other. And I'm not better than anybody else. Here's my big claim to fame: is a bad opportunity or a good opportunity always comes at a bad time, always. And I've just been one of those guys that is just going to seize the opportunity. You call me, they call me 3 days ahead of time to put me in, for my hot moment in Brittany Fox. And but I was learning the songs on the plane, and I played the shows the next night. And I just, my career, I've just learned to do that. And now I'm just living what I preach for years. You know what I mean? Living what
Right.
I preach. It's just all these opportunities keep presenting themselves to me. Judea, 13 Grit, this conversation with you. And I just have to, just do it and seize the moment, and just keep on keeping on. This is where my life's at right now. But I am not going to give up my music career. I'm just not. I've worked way long too hard, and it's all I know. And I'm going to continue to do it. And you mentioned Tattoo Tony. I would have to say right there's a third guy that I want to put on the list with Ron Keel and Mark Torian, is Tattoo Tony. Personal friend of mine. I look up to that guy. He did so much. We got, when we were in Modern Superstar and we were doing the thing with Tattoo Tony, we
Hmm.
had the reality TV show that he was doing.
Yep.
And he used Devil's Playground for that reality TV show. and we filmed a bunch of episodes and stuff with him.
Right.
And he's still my buddy, and I don't talk to him nearly as much as what I would love to, but he has a great band right now, man. Let's plug those guys.
Yeah. Broken Past. Yeah.
Broken Past guys, man, and great band, and they're on High Vol Music and Bill Chavis right now still as well.
Yeah. And
And
if there's any promoters out there, by the way, if there's any promoters out there, get a hold of me. We'll, we can set up things to, we can get a hold of these bands and book them. These are not bums. These are national acts here. So
absolutely, man, absolutely. Any of us apart and or all together,
yeah,
would love to do it.
yeah. Tattoo Tony, man. I've got to say my little piece for him as well. I had him on the show here. It's been a couple years now, but we got to talk to him, about his the whole situation on, how, he had a rough. I mean, he was down and out, you know, drugs, everything that you hear about. And look at him now, man. One of the most successful tattoo parlors here on the East Coast. A freehander. Such a great dad. That's probably one of the biggest things that really sticks out about Tattoo Tony is how good of a dad he is to Ray. Just
Yeah,
it's
certainly.
it's amazing. And so big shout out to him there too. Go to the comments here just for a second here. Ronald Tash. I don't know if you're familiar with him or not.
Oh man, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, he
Yeah, dude.
said amazing interview. Says knowing Richie's story, he said I try every day to be half the person he is. So
Well, thank you, man. He's my bud from way back, Craig, way back, like Ohio days, like Plymouth, Ohio days, like where I was born and raised. I've literally known this guy forever, and I was playing in Florida, and he just came by and said, "Hey, what's going on, Rich?" And I'm like, "Nobody knows me from here yet." And he introduced himself, and all of a sudden, shit from years and years prior started, going back, and we just been great buddies, ever since my first stroke. When I first had it, he was the one that came and said, "Hey, man, let's go out and eat." And I said, "Brother, I'm not going nowhere. I'm walking on a cane right now." And he come and picked me up and hauled my ass out, and we had some wings and beers at Hooters, and he become the one that for a little while he was the only one that could get me out of the house, man. And he was just in a car wreck recently, so um, I'm glad you and your son are doing good, brother. Sorry about the wreck, and sorry I haven't seen you, but thanks for the kind words, man. Much appreciated.
yeah, definitely. I appreciate you tuning into the interview tonight, brother. So thanks a lot. Um, so you go back, back in the I call it the good era because I'm an '80s child. So, um, is there any modern music now that you've listened to say, you know what, this is all right? This is what do you listen to these days, man?
You know what, brother? I'm gonna tell you this, man, and there's a lot of people probably gonna give me shit and hate on me, but one thing Rich Green has always been is honest, and if you like it, great, and if not, then I'm fucking sorry. I love you, but I love me more.
Yeah.
And so I'm just gonna be honest. And I come from the '80s, and I was able to cut my teeth in the '80s. I played in all the bands that I mentioned, earlier, and I thank God and I thank them for it. But even when I was in those bands, and even now today, you ask me that, I am a hardcore, pop fan, 80s pop,
Hmm.
Prince, Michael Jackson, Duran Duran, Flock of Seagulls, and I'm still, that's where my heart is. If you would look at my playlist, I'm still listening to that stuff. And with Tommy Yates and my band Echo 80 here in Florida, we were doing just that. We would play the tracks, backing tracks if we had to, but we were that pop stuff, a lot of the Cars and Duran Duran, and that, even though I love the 80s, and I do love the 80s, the Bullet Boys, way before I was playing with the Bullet Boys, and Rat, and Dokken, and all those bands, I just, I loved, and I still do. But what I listen to nowadays is that, 80s, 90s kind of pop stuff,
Right.
and I know it's probably weird for you to even hear me say that, because I know you didn't even know that.
No, no, I didn't know that. But as far as, my music, people would probably, I've even been listening, and again, I might catch a little shit here too, but I've been listening to a little bit of the Morgan Wallen country. But
Yeah,
just
I'm familiar with it. Yes,
yeah,
I'm familiar.
I just like I'm not so much into the techno stuff in a way that it's not. I like to hear something that tells a story. I'm an Eagles kind of person. About every one of their songs is they told a story about something. You know,
And me too, and I agree. Yeah,
some kind of
yeah,
meaning
you
to
can
it.
relate to it then, and if you listen to that stuff now, you can kind of still relate to it. So it's really stood the test of time, and I relate to that stuff too, and
Yeah,
you know I relate to that stuff too. But yeah, the music side of it, I really like, you know Prince and Michael Jackson and stuff like that. Man, it's just phenomenal,
Prince.
incredible.
Prince. I still go back and watch that Super Bowl halftime show of him in the rain. It was just,
Me too.
my opinion, that was the best halftime show ever. You know,
I agree.
I mean, what gets better
I
than Purple Rain with just the sky just completely opening up?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And that's a whole thing. It's just I'm still sad about it. I, I'm I'm still sad and heartbroken. You know,
I never got to
Eddie
see
Van
him. I
Halen.
wanted to go see him before all this happened, and you know, we've lost so many great artists, and it's really sad because
It is.
it's Prince was definitely a bucket list, and Tom Petty is another one that was a bucket list for me, and that'll never happen.
No, no, it's just a sad situation, man. And I agree. Luckily, I did get to see Prince. And Eddie Van Halen's another one for me. I that was on my bucket list. You know, I've always been a fan since day one, and seen him one time. And I just had hopes to see him again, see him again, see him again, and
So did you
now
see him
that's
with Dave, or did you see him with the Sammy lineup?
I saw him with Dave. I got to
Gotcha.
see him with Dave, which is how I would want it. I mean, Sammy's a bad motherfucker in his own right, but Van Halen was David Lee Roth, but I purposely did not go see Van Halen this last time around with David, and just I had such good memories,
Right.
as a younger guy, when I saw the original lineup,
I hear you.
and I saw him in Cleveland, Ohio. as a matter of fact. And I just said, you know what? I'm just going to leave that alone. I'm not going to go and see him again. You know, God bless him for being out doing it, but it wasn't the Van Halen that I wanted. And so I just didn't go, I just didn't go. And
He
I have
really
a
burned
habit of doing.
himself out. He burned himself out so bad, and not
Yeah.
in and not through the music, through he might have been one of the victims of the whole sex, drugs, and the drug side of rock and roll.
For sure, brother, for sure.
Yeah, I feel you there.
Yeah,
Uh,
for sure. So,
so
I'm saddened by the Eddie Van Halen passing for sure.
yeah, Wolfgang. There was another situation. My buddy here, actually, well, he used to be here in the Parkersburg area, Big Rick. I don't know if you ever got a chance to meet him. He was one of the radio disc jockeys here in town that, or I want to call him radio talent, not just disc jockey.
I think he introduced me to him. Yeah.
But he did an interview with Wolfgang, maybe a
Oh,
month or so after his death, and I still, even getting from that interview and from the Howard Stern interview, I don't know if he ever really realized, and it's probably a good thing that Eddie kept him grounded. I think I get the feeling from his interviews though that Eddie was just a damn good dad, and just the pictures, the videos from that song "Distance" that he did. Have you seen that?
yeah, I have.
It's there you want to talk about hair standing up on your arms and the back of your neck. Just seeing some of those videos and um,
Yeah,
tr- truly lost a king of guitar there for sure, and just a great musician. And it's a shame that everything, the aminosity or whatever you want to call it, during the with the bands and so much talent there.
yeah. Well, you remember what he said. What I take out of the interview is, they were going to do what they call it, the kitchen sink tour.
Yeah, yeah.
Throw the original members and everybody who had ever been in, you know, Sharon, just everybody. Wolfgang was going to play, but the all original guys were going to be together again, and that they all were pushing for that, and
Historical dollars there that would have been.
oh my God, can you imagine if that would have happened? And and it's just a sad situation, man. There's a whole nother shitty health situation, and
Yeah.
and he made the best of it for a while. I mean, he suffered for a long. That thing was going on for a long time.
Well,
It wasn't something that
like you just
happened.
said, Richie, the best opportunities come at the worst time.
Right,
you know.
right. Yes, yes, and that is true. I've learned that. I started having family, very early on, and even just stuff, uh, I would have to go out and tour and be here. And, I'm even little stuff like I'm missing birthdays or I'm missing,
Hmm.
school events and you just have to make a decision and, hey, daddy's a musician. This is what I do.
Right.
And thank God now my kids are grown. I'm saying my age here, but keep in mind I started early. But
Right.
my kids are grown. They, my youngest, twins go 21 and my oldest is 31 now. And, they support me still in music in my endeavors. And, now I'm striving to be a great grandfather.
Well, the balance then. The balance of what some of these, imagine the caliber. I hate to go back to Eddie Van Halen, but imagine the caliber of some of these. It's not you know, not the seasonal type of national tours. We're talking, you know, 6, 9 months out. The balance. Imagine trying to keep that in your kids, your family, your wives and girlfriends, and
I know,
you've
man, it's
seen it.
tough.
You've seen it, brother. I mean, it's
I've seen it. I've lived it.
yeah, for sure. I mean, relationships. You know, you have your long ones, but some are short. You know, because you choose to make them short. So,
Correct.
well, Richie, I really appreciate you taking the time here out. And so you've got a couple things going on. Then you've got, of course, you mentioned Native Sons is the first thing on getting ready to drop their album on March 12th. Your drum work is on that. So
Yes, yes, it is on every song. And like I said, man, he assembled a kick-ass band. And please just go out and give those guys, support, and listen to the tracks, and feel free to, drop me a line and let me know what you think, man. I would love to hear from people. Um, I'm an open book. I mean, you guys can hit me up anytime with good, bad, or, whatever. And, I'll do better next time. If you don't like one, if you don't like one that you hear, I'll do better next time. you know?
you, you know what though? That's a and sometimes though you're in a good position to where when you put something out, you don't have to. I think sometimes that people sell out, and I know you've heard the sellout with people with well, this sounded great, this got great reviews, this sold a lot, so maybe we need to do something that sounds more like this. And I think sometimes whenever bands and artists do that, they try to get so much like the last that they forget the reason why they're a singer and songwriter.
I agree. And with you, I do, not only am I a drummer, I write music, I do lyrics, and,
Yeah,
so I'm a bit of an, all around guy. But I mean, if you listen to my past work, Modern Superstar is, after that came, you know, um, Saints of Rebellion, and
right.
after Saints of Rebellion came Pink Velvet Crush, and none of those bands are remotely like each other.
Right.
Nor would you ever know that one member, let alone two or three, had been in all the bands. And even with you deciding what to play for me today at the beginning of this concert, or the beginning of this conversation, rather, I should say,
Right.
I think now you've heard a little bit of Judea, which you didn't even realize until today.
No.
And then you got the 13 grit that you I know you listened to right before this just completely polar sides,
Oh
just they
yeah.
couldn't be opposite.
13
And
grit has your edge. 13 grit has a very strong edge to it. By the way, I know
because
we
it's
didn't.
very love meets sticks
Yeah,
type of thing. It is.
I know I didn't play any of that on there, but if you like the hard, to 13 grit, if you like the gritty kind of um, rough side music, that's good stuff, man. Yeah,
Thank you, brother.
and that was the
Appreciate
video I
it.
was trying to show. I was trying to find that one, but I'm glad you have it there. We'll make sure that we share that over onto the page. So, but anyway,
Okay.
we'll wrap things up here, brother. I do appreciate your time, and you know, keep me in touch. Keep in touch with me. I follow you on social media on Facebook and stuff, and but above
Okay.
all, take care of yourself, and
I absolutely will.
and get back, get 100%. I know you're getting there 1% per day, and you're going to get there.
Yeah, yeah. Next time we talk, I'll be, out. We're Judea's getting ready to, we just started booking yesterday. Our agent just started booking for May, and so we'll get some shows under our belts, and I'll be ready to go. Studio is one thing for me, but until I can get to Rich Green level, I won't even attempt to go out and play. You know, um, I just got to be as good as my worst show ever,
Hmm.
and
Get that.
you thank God. I feel, and this is me saying it, patting myself on the back. I feel as a player and as a musician, and the people who see me hopefully will agree. I set the bar pretty high back in my day and over the years as far as playing and being a showman, and I set the bar pretty high. So it's pretty tough for the half man that I am now to get back to that. But I promise you that I will. And if not, I'll bow out gracefully and I'll be a studio musician for the rest of my life. But until I can give you the good show that I want to give you and walk around with my you know head held high, and be proud, and want to meet everybody and give them all what I got.
Right.
I'll be doing something else, and you can see me on Facebook, you know, crying about it, and then you can fucking delete me, if you don't like it.
Yep.
But I will get back out there, man. I will get back out there, and as of right now, with my therapists and my doctors and everything, the only good thing that I can say, and I'll leave everybody with this, whether you care or not, I'm in the best health of the last 25 years. I mean, I just am. According to my doctor, I'm as healthy as, a 15-year-old girl, he tells me all the time, all the things that I had accumulated for the stroke, just I'm still a diabetic, of course, but it's under control now, and
Hmm.
cholesterol and all that stuff is good, and heart is good, and so I'm healthy, so I got a much better chance at doing this longer than I did probably 3 years ago. Just burning candle at both ends, and I mean, I was just always on the go, and I mean, and that
Oh
just
yeah.
from the show you did with us, and
Well, I figured that
and
if you wasn't able to set it, even if you weren't able to swing another drumstick one way or the other, that you would still be somewhere in the main mix, like you just said, in a studio, writing music, something or other, Richie. I have no doubts about that. You know, giving up is just not acceptable.
no, it sure isn't, man. It sure isn't, and
And
I
hey,
thank God, for all you.
get down there and kick Mickey's ass and get his ass
Yeah.
out of there too. It
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, he's gonna come out with me, man. And listen, I love the guy, and I have days like that too sometimes, especially, not so much here lately. I've had some pretty good strides and level of things changing, but when this thing first happened to me, it's like I can't even explain it, and I know how he is, and I tell him all the time, and he knows I'm just fucking with him. But he's complaining about, oh, I can't taste my food. This sucks. I'm over it. I mean, how long is this gonna be? And I'm like, brother, listen to me. I'm somebody that could not talk. I had to go to speech therapy to talk. I still can't walk. I still can't scratch an itch. I barely remember my name when I wake up in the morning. And you're going to cry to me about not tasting food. Get over it, buddy. And God forbid I love you, but if anything would happen to you right now, you're probably not going to be in the best shape to see your son and your loved ones ever again. You know what I mean? So let's do some life-changing stuff and then give up. But you're not ready to give up now, and just stop saying it. And he's to me, you know what? I know I'm not, but it's tough, Rich. And I talk to him not daily like I would like to, but we do talk weekly. And he just needs to get back at it, and he needs some good fortune. And with
Right.
Hollywood Dirty, we're going to do it. So please, if you see us post that we're going to be anywhere, do yourself a favor and come to that. Check us out on Facebook, all the usual media, and you will see the rock star Mickey out doing it again. I promise you that. And I did let him know, just while we're on the Mickey tangent, I did let him know, Craig, what you said earlier, about you're praying for him, and you're hoping for him, and you wish the best for him, and you're keeping up with him. And so I did let him know that. And it was it was well received by him, so thank you for
Good.
that. And
Well, I've seen some of
yeah,
the other things he's been through over the last couple years. I know he's had it rough, but I'm also a glass half full kind of person, and I just, accepting the unacceptable is just not there for me. You know what I mean? That's just the way I am.
same
So,
way. I'm the same way, brother. I'm the same way. And we'll get back at it, man.
yep,
You'll see both of us out together, and we'll make sure when we're ready for that, you will be the first guy that we call up. I promise you.
I appreciate that. The line will be open for you guys. Promise you too. So,
Yeah, so that, and I'm going to thank my band in 13 Grit. I'd like to, if I could have
sure,
2 minutes in
absolutely.
closing.
You can have as
I'd
much
like
time
to
you want.
say thanks to those guys, for giving me a chance and believing in me when nobody else really was at the time. And now we're on the path to greatness. And Sean Quidgen on guitar and writing most of the stuff. Sean played with me in Pink Velvet Crush for a while, and he was the guy who called me and kind of gave me the opportunity to get back into music.
Hmm.
The first opportunity, and so Sean Quizgen, Brian Clark on bass, Jeff Disabato singing, which is also the singer for um, Hollywood Dirty is Jeff. So I got a couple projects with him, and Inga Rudin from the band Lola Montez, who I met years ago when she was the wife of Eric Brittingham from Cinderella. I met Inga, and Inga was made a guest appearance on the album and the first single. She did some backing vocals for us, so big thank you to her. And her new love interest, Blake, for allowing us to use her services, and he actually recorded her for us. So kudos to him. And Ted Phillips for doing the keys and the B3 for us. Who's not an official member. He's an official non-member, but he's recording with us right now, and he's just a great guy. Our producer, Lee Hart here in Florida, for doing killer, allowing me to do killer drum tracks. And great guy. And Ty Sims for mixing and mastering. And that's the 13 Grit lineup and suspects. And check out Judea. You can check out our Facebook. You can Google us. Check out Judea Judea.rocks. That's Judea.rocks. Judea.rocks. I know it's a little bit different, but check that out. Club owners, our EPK is on there. Our management, Bill Chavis and High Vol Management. Not doing the record label with Bill. We're a little bit out of his wheelhouse, but he is our manager. And, that band, I would like to thank, Justin Ian Raymond, singer, songwriter,
Mm-hmm.
leader, great talent. Justin spent some years on MCA years ago in a band called Crush Down. So, he's been to the big boys. So, big hats off to Justin for singing and leading Judea. Ohio boy on guitar. I don't know if you're familiar with they used to be called Counting Stars, Craig. They're from like the Cincinnati area, but you know, Chris is playing guitar for us. Zach Winkle's playing guitar in Judea,
I would
and
have to go
John.
back and I'd have to go back and listen to some music by them to see. I don't.
Yeah,
It,
I'm sure. I'm sure you have. I'm sure you have, but yeah, so that big thank you to those guys, and I'm proud of both of those bands. I got a band called Drama Theory, which is more of a five finger death punch type of thing. With Brian Clark is singing in that, and some usual suspect guitar players and bass players, and that band will be out soon, but definitely the first thing coming up will be 13 Grit and Judea. So please check us out and support us. Big
and
thank you to all those guys for, giving me the opportunity.
and one last little thing there that I was just thinking about. Some of the people out there may not know that our Five Finger Death Punch fans that are listening that Jason Hook used to play guitar for Bullet Boys.
He did. He did. And I was lucky enough. I was lucky enough to be there, man. I was lucky enough to be there. And also a little bit more history is who else before Jason, who else was the guitar player and kind of cut his teeth, so to speak, with Bullet Boys? Do you know who else?
I'm drawing
I know I'm putting
a
you on the
blank.
spot.
No,
It's okay to say no, but DJ Ashba.
no shit.
Yes, yes, yes.
Wow.
DJ Ashba.
That's pretty wild. I didn't realize that. What any idea what
DJ Ashba was DJ Ashba.
what
This is when DJ Ashba was, long blonde, curly hair,
yeah.
glasses. Was just was a guy from Indiana. Before DJ Ashba was DJ Ashba, but just as cool as he is now back then. Just but yeah, I DJ and Jason Hook.
Yeah, we saw DJ Ash but twice. We of course have seen him when he was doing the gig with Guns N' Roses, which was phenomenal. He
Oh yeah,
did like a I swear it was at least a 12-minute guitar solo, which was incredible.
yeah,
And
yes,
he also we also saw him of course with 6 a.m.
yeah. And before that, he was with Joe Lestay and played in the Beautiful Creatures. Check out some of his work on the Beautiful Creatures stuff.
Wow.
The first album I think was called Deuce. Maybe the other one was called 3 a.m. But that's also great stuff. Great guy across the board, great player, and just very innovative. And all those bands that you listen to, it's just it's the same, but it's different. He's able just to reinvent himself, and kudos to him, man. And Jason Hook's another one.
Yeah.
Kudos to Jason, you know, for sure. But yeah, it's a small world, man. It's a small
It is,
world.
man. I need to go back and look at some of this history because I love that kind of stuff, knowing how things are attached to people. But
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Well, Richie,
Well,
once again, I know we we dragged on a little bit longer, but by God, it's my show. We can talk as long as we want to talk, right?
I appreciate it. I've sit
we haven't
kind of
we haven't caught up for so long, man. It's been
no.
God.
It's like I told you on the interview front. It's been at least probably a couple years since I've been able to do one, and I just feel so fortunate, that still giving me the opportunity to do it, man. Thank you so much, and I'm available for you for any time. Now you've got my Skype, you got my personal, cell number, and please use it, man. I can't wait to see you again, brother. I love you, man.
Love you too,
Thank you
man.
so much.
Hey, and just a couple more comments here. John Miller was on there. Of course, we mentioned Nicole Mazingo. Hopefully, I didn't.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Hopefully, I didn't.
Johnny, Nicole.
Yeah, they were listening on there too tonight. So I just wanted to give a shout out to them. John was saying that you sounded as good as you ever have. So I want to make sure that I mention them on the air. So
Awesome. Thanks, John. Yeah, John has a lot of stake in my career. He's my personal manager.
oh, okay.
Just being personal manager, and kind of has his hands in anything that Rich Green does. We own a couple businesses together. I'm starting up a merch company. I'll plug that, I guess. We're gonna do hats, shirts, jewelry. We can do, shoes, socks, whatever you want. If you got something that you want done, you're a band or you're somebody personal, just hit us up. We do a lot of direct to garment stuff, kind of such as Tattoo Tony. I know. And so yeah, so we're doing that, and and but yeah, he's a guy, who takes care of me, goes out on the road, and oversees my stuff personally. Make sure that I get to the gig on time, make sure that I take my meds, make sure that I get to, my doctor's appointments,
Hmm.
make sure that I find a place that does therapy if I need it when I'm out on the road, and just somebody who has my back and takes care of me. So kudos, glad you joined, brother. And Nicole, I'll make a trip to Ohio, and I'll definitely be seeing you, and we'll be hanging out soon. And she's been my friend for 30 plus years. When I before Rich Green was even Rich Green, she knew me, and so yeah, I'm glad that those guys listened, and hey and bye to Ronald Tash again, and again, man, thanks, Craig. I appreciate it, brother.
Yep. Anytime, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate your
And
time too.
yeah, for sure, yeah, for sure. I hope you got some listeners out of this. I really do, and
Well, this will be put over to it'll be put over to YouTube. I like to edit it a little bit. I'll put it onto YouTube, and I'm also in the process of setting this up on Spotify too, so people can go back and listen to Spotify. I'm actually getting ready to take a little break here to get some of those things in motion.
okay.
And
Well, please let me know when you do, and let me know. And I would love to be a part of whatever it is, man.
absolutely,
I really would.
absolutely. All right, man. Well, take care, man. Appreciate it.
Okay, brother. All right, love you, man. Thank you so
Love you too.
much.
Uh huh.
Thanks.
All right, guys. So there you have it. Let me click back over here to my big ugly mug. So I hope everybody enjoyed the interview there. Appreciate everybody that tuned in this evening. As I mentioned, actually my bare knuckle fighting hat is not showing up very good in here for some reason. But anyway, appreciate everybody tuning in. Appreciate the support, and shout out also something I should have mentioned at the beginning. Code Red Riot again has been one of my biggest, or I shouldn't say biggest, but yeah, I guess they could say the biggest support for our startup introductory music to the podcast there. So if you enjoyed the music, we had Code Red Riot and Shallow Side in that part of the introductory. I am going to go in closing here. I'm going to play their newest song, No Accident, which is available to purchase at Amazon, a bunch of other places. Mr. Corky Gainsford from Code Red Riot, formerly Otherwise, is a songwriter of this. But thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Y'all have a great Sunday and a great week. The 40s and 50s are underway here for the Mid-Ohio Valley, so things are going to start to melt off hopefully here pretty soon. So peace out, everyone.